Motivates your life coach. Today, I wanted to come on and to do a little bit of a get to know me because I know for many who are new to me and new to my channel, they really don't know much about me, and I want you guys to. So I'm Marlene Motivates. I am the content creator for this channel, and I am a life coach. I became a life coach back in 2000, well, about 6 or 7 months ago. So 2024. There you go. You're good now. Okay. I was trying something on StreamYard, but it didn't work. So hopefully the volume is good now. Welcome in, everybody. How's everybody doing? I wanted to do a get to know me so you guys could find out who I am. So I'm Marlene Motivates, and I come from a really big family. We're doing this get to know me. I come from a really big family. I am the last of 10. So there's 7 girls and 3 boys in my family. Some of my siblings have passed on, but yeah, I am the last of 10. Hi, Carol. How are you doing? Oh, it sounds great. Awesome, awesome, awesome. That's what I wanted to hear. So I am the last of 10, and of course, I'm a girl, and I come from a big Caribbean family. Both of my parents were born in Jamaica. I was born in New York. What else? My parents came down here when I was 2.5, 3 years old. Yeah, 2 or 3 years old. My parents moved from New York to Florida, and I've been in Florida ever since. Hi, Marlon. How are you? Welcome. Hit the like, everybody. So yeah, my parents came down here in 2000. No, I don't even know what year it was, but whenever I was 2.5 to 3 years old, that's when they came down here. Hi, Damien. How are you? So, there's that. And I want to say, I created this channel because I came from a dysfunctional family. I don't know how many people like me came from dysfunction. Oh, I'm awesome, Damien. Welcome. I came from a dysfunctional family. Hi, Brian. I came from a dysfunctional family, and I'm going to go into that in a little bit. But in this get to know me, leave me some comments, some questions that you want to ask the creator. But I'm going to answer some, and then I'll go to your questions. So I come from a big family of 10. I'm the last of 10. Came from a dysfunctional family, and I grew up not really knowing who I was, not really knowing what I was worth, and I did not see a lot of representatives of being, yourself. Yes, Marlon is here. Hi, Glenda. How are you? Welcome. I didn't come from that, in my family. I didn't come from that in my family, having conversations, talking about how you feel, communicating, all of those things. So I wanted to be a better person. I wanted to be different than my community, than my environment, than the people that I had been around. I wanted to be better. I didn't want to complain about it, but I really honestly didn't have the tools. Oh, I'm glad you're good. I really didn't have the tools in order to achieve the personal growth. Okay. Hi, Lucy, how are you? Welcome. Okay. I'm sure it's hard. How do you prove yourself when you have other siblings? Um, I'm gonna get into. I'm gonna get back to your question, but I came from a really big family, and I think sometimes people have it wrong when they talk about, being the last child, because that was not the case for me. I came from, I think because I was the last and I had older parents. Marlon says, thumbs up the stream. Thank you so much, Marlon. I came from not really having a lot, right? We didn't have a lot as a family, but we really didn't know how to communicate about things. We didn't talk about things. We didn't communicate. That was not something that we did like in our family. And I think it was just the time period. People just didn't communicate about their life. And I wanted to do better. I wanted to be better than the past, what I saw. Because I saw dysfunction all around me, I didn't want to make the excuse like it was okay. I knew what I was in and what I was going through was not okay, but I didn't have the tools in order to change it. Hi, Nadia. How are you? Welcome. I didn't have the tools in order to change it. I didn't know how to change my life. I didn't know how to improve. I didn't know how to be stronger and more capable, but I definitely wanted to learn. And, we went through a few things within our family without disclosing too much, but we did. And moving forward a little bit, through my childhood, I went through a lot of things. I was bullied a lot because now, even though my voice is still, I'm still a soft-spoken person, but when I was younger, I was painfully shy. Yes, thank you so much. When I was younger, I was painfully shy. And I used to be bullied all the time when I was in school. I mean, it was relentless. I was bullied and I used to cry myself to sleep all the time when I was younger. And it was terrible. I wouldn't wish what I went through on anybody. Oh, I'm glad you're fine, Nadia. I wouldn't wish what I went through on anybody, but that's what it was. And I believe that what I went through in my life turned me into being the woman that I am today. Stronger, courageous, relentless. So if you have some questions, I'm going to answer them now. Shelley says, sorry, Marlene, but it made you stronger. Yes, it did. Hi, Lynn. Welcome in. Marlon says, welcome into everybody. Yes. Hi, Bryden. Oh, thank you so much, Bryden. Appreciate you. So, I went through a lot of things in my life. A lot of pain, a lot of sadness. And I don't know who went through things like this in their life, but I'm just going to share my personal truth. I spent the majority of my life crying, crying myself to sleep, feeling lonely, feeling very discouraged, feeling depressed because I didn't feel I was anything, because I didn't feel accepted by the people who were around me. And I say this because I don't want you all to feel sorry for me. I'm not looking for pity. I'm not looking for people to say, oh, poor Marlene. I'm just sharing my personal truth. I went through that. I didn't feel loved. I didn't feel listened to. I didn't feel seen. And coming from being the 10th, I always felt like I was the one that was like in the way, because I was the type of child that I always was asking questions. I always wanted to know why. And for the people around me, that was irritating, because if you came from what I came from back in the day, children were seen and not heard, and they didn't talk about, you didn't question adults or authority. Hi, Robert. How are you doing? Thank you so much, Bryden. Yeah, you were very sensitive too? Yeah, I can imagine that. Hi, skincare ministry. Yes, you are set apart. It's a very important to know your worth. Welcome in. Thank you to everybody who's here. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And the reason why I wanted to do this stream to get to know me, because I don't really think I have a what you call it. I really don't. It's hard to talk about. I didn't think I was going to get choked up. But it's hard to say it out loud that there was many years that I didn't love myself. I didn't feel like I had any value. I didn't feel I was worth anything. And it's because of some things that I went through, some deeper things of some, you know, some traumas, and without saying too much, some sexual things that happened to me. And when you go through things like that in your life, it changes you, you know. And when you have a lot of things that you have been through, it kind of makes you feel like you go into your own little bubble. And that's what I did. I went into my own little bubble and feeling sorry for myself and crying. But I feel like I cried so much in the beginning of my life that I'm very sensitive. Like, my heart is very open. I hate to see other people sad like I was, because I can't say I know how you feel, but I know how I felt when I was in that really dark tunnel. And there was nothing but pain and sadness. I'm not saying that my whole life was miserable, because it wasn't. I did have some good times with my siblings and my parents. It wasn't all pain, but it was very dysfunctional. Like, it was only that you talk when you are to be talked to. It was kind of like a children were seen and not heard, and you didn't talk about the things that you felt. You know, as a child, I didn't feel like I was able to have my own opinion and to talk about what I wanted to talk about. Oh, thank you guys for deleting the comments. Yeah, we got each other. Yes, hit the like. I appreciate it. We love you for who you are. Thank you so much, Bryden. I appreciate everybody who's in here. So I say that to say that sometimes when you're in a situation in your life, you're sad, brokenhearted, or you have people around you that are toxic, manipulative, dark, you know, people who try to literally unalive you or do things to make you feel like you want to take your own life. And I was in that space for a long period of time, from the time I was about, hey Shay, how are you? Welcome. From the time I was about 14 to the time I was about 19, I had an eating disorder. And it was really bad. I had a really bad eating disorder, anorexia nervosa, from the time I was 14 to the time I was about 19. And it was a really dark period of time in my life. And I speak of it now because most time people, when they talk about eating disorder, they only think about bulimia. But, you know, starving yourself, it is a disease, okay? And you need some help. So I speak to anyone out there that has an eating disorder, anorexia, bulimia. Please seek some help. I'm not a therapist. I am a life coach, and I just speak real. You know, I went through a lot of things. When I was at my lowest point, when I was 14, I got to be 65 pounds, and it was awful. It was awful. I was sad all the time. I had zero friends. It was basically, I went to school, I went to work. I was only with my family. And when I say depression was real at that time, it really was real. And I didn't understand at the time, but my depression came from things in your childhood, which is one of the reasons I'm getting to why I started my channel. Hey, Tamika, how are you? Welcome. Shelly is my go-to eliminator. Thank you, Shelly. I wanted to say this to anybody who's ever been through anything in their life, okay? Yeah, it's okay, Carol. I didn't want to say this to make you guys feel bad or to feel sad for me. I'm just speaking my personal truth to show you you can come from a really dark space to being a source of light and power and energy to yourself and to others. And when people say you can never change, that's not the truth. You know, if you really want to make changes in your life, if you want to be happy, if you want to be at peace, if you want to be different from others, if you want to learn about communication, if you want to learn how to show affection, if you want to learn how to do certain things in your life, you can do it. And I will always advocate for that. You know, I didn't grow up knowing how to communicate. I was the main person that when I go through things, I go into a turtle shell and I don't want to talk about it. I shut down, I isolate myself, and I have to stop myself from doing that because we hurt ourselves and we hurt other people, and you don't get the help that you need when you isolate yourself. But for my case, the reason why I stopped talking about it, because if you always open up and talk about how you feel and you get laughed at, you get ignored, or when people make you the brunt of their jokes, you're just like, it's not worth it. Like, why should I talk about it if I'm going to be made fun of? So I just stopped. Getting to the reason and the purpose why I came to YouTube. In 2007, I was just on here on YouTube, and I was not a content creator at the time. I was just a supporter. And I remember there was somebody did a video, and back in 2007 you were able to do video responses. You could respond to, like, if somebody made a video, all you have to do is click the button, and you could do a video response to what somebody was talking about. And that's how I got into doing what I'm doing, because I'll never forget it. It was I don't even remember her name. I don't even think she's on this app anymore, but she made a video and it was talking about holding things inside. And I did a video response because I know what that's like. I was the queen of holding things in, holding in my anger, not talking about how I feel. You know, if I felt sad, I felt guilty to feel sad because other people around you would make you feel guilty. They'll tell you don't cry, or that's weak. You know, you can't tell everybody how you feel. Or some people, because they don't want to talk about it, it's like you shouldn't talk about it. So that made me be the person that I was at the time. But I knew that it wasn't good, because it's not good to hold in everything that you're dealing with. Eventually, it's going to be a crushing weight on you. Robert put a hotline on here. Thank you, Robert. Marlene, I'm going to do some lives, and I would love to have you on the panel. Awesome, Bryden. Just let me know. Yes, double tap on the like, says Robert. Yeah, so that's one of the things that I went through, and I dealt with an eating disorder, and then the eating disorder brought up some things that I didn't even know. You know, sometimes you can have some issues within yourself and you don't even know. It's not even from you. It's from your trauma. It could be from your abuse. It could be from the times where you felt abandoned or whatever. So that was the first time I went to therapy, when I was in high school, like I said, with an eating disorder. And with time, it took me about 5 years to conquer that eating disorder. And I can say that I've never relapsed and went backwards with that. I'm in a good space with that. And every day is a work in progress, you know, for you to not go backwards and for you to not make excuses and for you to not blame yourself. Okay. And that propels me to, I want to say that was 2006. Um, I saw something which I can't really talk about because it's a really dark thing, but something happened in 2006, and that caused me to go back to therapy again. But this time, the therapy was my choice. I wanted to be different. I always said I didn't want to be like the past. I didn't want to be like my ancestors. I didn't want to be like my siblings. I didn't want to be dysfunctional. And you will be dysfunctional until you start to make some changes in your life. And I have to say that making changes in your life is not easy. It's not. Especially when you have people around you that feel like making excuses, procrastinating, lying, doing whatever you want to, stepping on other people, so that you can elevate in life is okay. And it's not. So I had to learn to unlearn those bad things. And it's not an easy thing, but I can say through therapy, friendship, spirituality, I'm a completely different person than I was. Now, I'm not perfect. You know, I don't claim to be perfect, but at the same time, I'm proud of myself because it's not easy to look at some things that you have been through in your life and say, you made it through that? Like, what? Because there's a lot of people that go through one thing or two things in their life and they're no longer with us. And my condolences to many people. And one of the reasons why I went back to therapy was about something that happened in 2006. Going through a really dark period of time, and something happened, which I'm not going to disclose, but something happened and it caused me to want to unalive myself. And I was really in a dark space. When I say down the rabbit hole, I was severely depressed. And I just didn't want to be here anymore. Whew. Hi, Wellness. How are you? I just didn't want to be here anymore. And it's hard to say that, but at the time when you're going through it, if anybody has ever been to that dark space where you didn't want to be here anymore, you know how I feel. When you go through a pain like that, abuse like that, unless you have been through it, unless you have experienced something, you really can't know what it's like. But with time, with patience, great friends, with therapy, I'm still here. And I want to share that as a survivor story. Don't look at your past with shame. I don't look at my past with shame. Everything that I went through in my life was preparing me and molding me into the woman that I am today. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for what I went through as a little girl. I'm grateful for what I went through as a woman. I'm grateful that I was able to look at the skeletons in my closet, face my fears, become accountable, because a lot of people don't. There's a lot of people that they go to alcohol, drugs, cutting, so much things. But through my faith, through therapy, through just not wanting, like, you get to a space in your life where you get sick and tired of being sad. And that's where I was. I was sick and tired of being sad. I was sick and tired of being angry. I was sick and tired of blaming other people. Hey, Eastad, how are you? Thank you, Miss Carol. And welcome, Wellness. How are you guys doing? Hit the like, please. Yeah. Lynn's life lesson says, thank God for your healing. You are so strong. Braden says, it took me over 40 years to say a word. I know. Let it go. Hi, Miss Nexia. How are you doing? Welcome. I wanted to share this because sometimes as a content creator, people think content creators aren't human, that we don't go through things. Hi, Nadia says, yes, you are strong and brave to share your story, and you went through a hard time. Yes. And I know many of you have as well. Either you're going through a hard time, or you have been through a hard time, or a little of both. You've been through it and maybe you're still struggling with it. I wanted to say to everybody, whether it's something that was your past or is something that is your present, I want to talk about bullying is not right. Abuse is not right. Lack of communication, it's not right. People who abandon you, people who backstab you, people who treat you inferior, it's not okay. And I know that if I had not been through what I had been through in my life, you know, if I had not fallen flat on my face, if I had not felt like I wasn't worth nothing, if I never said the way I was treated wasn't right, would I be the woman that I am today? No. And I advocate for women. I advocate for men, and children and the elderly and those who have been abused and discriminated against, because it's not right. I always want to use my platform to elevate and to let others know, no matter what you have been through before, whoever abandoned you, abused you, stabbed you in the back, cheated on you, whatever it is that somebody has done to you in the past, that's them. Okay? That's them. And this is today. And I'm so grateful for all of those who have had enough courage to say, I still want to fight for my life. I still want to be here. I'm not going to let my past define my present. And I congratulate you. And I pat you on the back. And I want to say I'm so proud of all of my Motivators family all around the world. And I know that it's not easy. There's always going to be people who are always going to have something to say about you, about us, okay? About, women, about men, or to say, oh, I went through something like that and I'm fine. Everybody deals with things differently. Everybody deals with situations in a different way. No two people are the same. Some people want to talk about it and some people don't. Some people want to journal. Some people get into exercise or being an advocate for whatever your struggle, or they like to spread awareness. But as long as you allow yourself to do some things to help you to cope and to heal and to be better. See, I want to be a catalyst for change. I want to share that I'm a woman, I am strong. I'm courageous. I'm a go-getter. I fought, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I shed lots of tears. I had a lot of doubt. I lacked confidence. I didn't have people around me to say, Marlene, you can do it. You can do anything. That came from inside of me. So I want to say that to somebody who needs to hear it. Sometimes you may not have people around you that will tell you you can make it through. You can do something better. You can change, okay? You don't have to be your past. You don't have to be like your ancestors. You don't have to be like your parents or your siblings, or you don't have to be like the person, your ex, okay? You can rise above all of it. Rise above it like a phoenix and make a change in your life. If you are suffering mentally because people said things to you that was so hurtful, so mean, so nasty, or the people who abandon you, I want to say this. They didn't deserve you. Okay? Some people, when they leave our life, we don't feel it at the moment because we're human. It hurts when you get abandoned and backstabbed and disrespected and not loved. It hurts. It's one of the worst hurts when you don't get accepted, or people take your kindness for weakness. They feel like you'll always be around and they can talk to you any kind of way that they want to, or you're always going to support them, but they don't care about supporting you. They don't care about what you're dealing with and what you're going through. But I want to say to all my motivators family, you're valid. You're valid, you're important, you're special, and you matter. And if you have people in your life that don't feel like you matter, they don't deserve to have you. Move along, okay? It's their loss. But you have to be strong. You have to be really, really strong and have that power from inside of you. Sometimes the people that you want to love you, you want them to love you so bad, and they don't. Because they don't love themselves. Yeah. Sometimes we love people more than they love themselves. Okay? Don't keep spinning your wheels. Don't keep wasting your time. Don't keep waiting for people to mature and grow up. You can't heal people. You can't make people support you. You can't make people do the right thing. You can't make people be mature. You can't. All you can ever be is yourself. And that's enough, you know? Let me read some comments before I go into something else. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I fight for us every day. Won't stop. Awesome, Bryden. Eastside says, I'm so done with those who play games. I'm going to be the only gamer on my life. Yes. Nadia says, yes, you are so right. Robert says, thank you for sharing your story for someone who is going through it now. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Shelly says, right. Puzzle Pieces says, 100%. Brett says, I was born with a rusty, sharp fork in my side, and it hurts. Robert says, tell that shy person they are strong and beautiful. Yes. We got to stand up and come together is all I say. So true. Brandon says, you are important, you are loved, and you have a voice. You are valued. Yes, Nadia says, so true. Yes, that's a narcissist. I say it every day. Indeed, you are important. Yes, facts, Brighton. So, you know, I said all of this to come to this point. Sometimes we have to go through so many things, you know. You have to go through dumbing down your talent, your value and your worth, for you to look at yourself, you know, step outside of yourself and say, why am I doing that? Why am I waiting for this person to love me and support me and care for me and be there for me? And they don't. So whoever needs to hear this message, whoever's sticking in any relationship where you're not growing, where you don't feel peace, where you don't feel encouraged and loved and supported, move along. It's their loss, not yours. But we have to stop holding on to people that don't care about us. We know it. We can feel it. Their energy is off. They're always complaining about every single thing they have to do for you. They never ask you what you need and what you want. Move along. Okay? So now I'm to the point where, okay, I'm on YouTube. I'm a content creator. And here comes, at that time, this channel was called Living Your Best Life. And like I said earlier, I named it Living Your Best Life back in when I first started on YouTube, because I wasn't living my best life. I needed to get out of not doing the things that I wanted to do. I was always waiting for people. I was always saying, oh, I want to do that, but I was waiting for my husband. I'm waiting for my friend. I'm waiting for my sibling. I'm waiting for my parents. I was always waiting for people. It was like I was almost waiting for them to give me the permission to live. But when I really got it, and I said, I'm giving myself the permission to live. How about that? And I will tell you all, when you start making changes in your life, working on your health, loving on yourself, being about your business and your finances, and protecting your peace, I'm telling you, the fakes, the phonies, the jealous people, the backstabbers, all of those people, they'll start to fall off. When they find out that they can't use you, or if they say something and you're not affected like you used to be, because I know, I'm gonna be honest, before somebody said that something to me, it put me in a dark hole in space. It put me in a really dark space because I believed in what they were saying more than what I believed in me. See, we have to learn to define our own power, our own energy, okay? We have to know our own worth. And at that time, I was trying, I was just beginning to work on finding out who I was as a woman. Even though I was over 20 years old, I still didn't know myself. I didn't tap in and ask myself the questions. Who am I? What do I want? And then here comes 2016. 2016, I found out okay? And that was, ooh, it kind of gives you a gauge. Like, you think things are important in your life until you find out, like, some of the stuff like you put importance on, it's not important at all. Forget it. I was like, forget it all. At the end of the day, the things that's most important is the people that you have in your life, and making memories, loving each other. Everything else is irrelevant. Who cares about the fancy, all the material things? All of that can go. At the end of the day, the thing that is the most important is being with the people that you love. Loving yourself, sharing, being in your purpose, loving yourself and loving your life. And I knew for sure, I just had started on that journey. And when I found out my dad was sick, thank you, East, I appreciate it. Bryden says, Marlene is saying, don't wait on no one. Do it for yourself. You are your own person, and don't rely on anyone. Yes, don't rely on anyone. And it was so hard, okay? It was so hard when I found out, like, I'm always going to be daddy's girl. That's for sure, And when I found out, like, the most important person in my life was going to be gone, that will mess up your head, okay? I don't care what anybody says. I don't care, man or woman. We're human. And it hurts. But eventually, when he passed in October of 2016, I was at a better space, because when you find out that somebody is going to go, it kind of makes you think about what's really important. spending time together, talking about things. During that time when my dad was sick, I got to have conversations that I really have been wanting to have with him, you know, talking about some things that I did when I was, I call it, I was a numbskull. I was selfish. I was immature. And that was the times where I apologized for some of the things that I did. He apologized for some of the things that he did. And we talked about real life stuff. And I'm grateful for that time because I'm still living off that energy. And I can recall every single word that my father said to me that day. He told me, Marlene, you're somebody special. Whew. You're going to impact a lot of people. But you're going to have to take care of yourself. You're going to have to learn about boundaries. You have to learn yourself what you want to do because you're a leader. And it took me a while to receive that. Okay? It took me a while to receive it. But at the same time, I'm grateful for his words because I think about it from time to time. We all need to think about our role in this life, who we are, what we're supposed to do. And don't buck under the pressure. It may not come as fast as you want it to come, but it's coming. And sometimes the reason why it's not coming as fast as you want it to come because you're not doing the things that you need to do. See, I know I needed to work on me. I needed to work on myself. I needed to learn to heal some things from the past. I need to work on some abandonment issues. I needed to learn to speak up for myself because if you're in the role of being a leader, you got to know yourself because a blind can't lead the blind. You got to be strong. You got to be ferocious. There's times where I have to be ferocious because I have to protect my circle. But at the same time, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for everything in my struggle. I'm grateful for every tear I shed. I'm grateful for my strength. I'm grateful for my story. And I'm grateful that I'm helping people now. See, you can use your life to make changes, to help people, to heal people, to work on yourself so you can elevate or you can decline. You know, a lot of people, they choose to hold all their pain inside, to mute everything, to walk around with a plastic smile like everything is okay. I'm not one of them. If I want to cry, if I want to scream, if I want to do whatever, I'm going to do whatever it takes in order for me to be my best. And I say that to all of you motivators family. Don't hold things inside. It's not a weakness, man or woman. It's not a weakness. If you want to cry, if you want to scream, if you want to be angry, if you want to write a letter, then do it. But you got to do something in order for you to be okay. For you to be okay. And I know many of my motivators family, their mothers, their fathers, aunties, uncles, grandparents. You're somebody's depending on you. But the question that's always in my, but are you taking care of yourself? That's what I say to my motivators family. Are you taking care of yourself? And that's where it came to fast forward to a few months later. My dad had passed away in 2016. 6.5 months later, my mom passes away. And this was like all of the sudden and I say this is like, I didn't even really process my dad passing away. And I remember the day clear as ever. Clear as ever. I remember it was a Wednesday. Wednesday, May 2nd, 2017. And I was at work. At the time, I was working in a doctor's office. And I got the call from a family member telling me to get down to the hospital. And I just thought it was my mom, because my mom had white coat syndrome. You guys know what that is. White coat syndrome is like every time you go to the doctor, like your blood pressure goes up, like you get really stressed. So my mom had, you know, the white coat syndrome really bad, and her blood pressure would always be through the roof. But as soon as she got home, she was fine. It was just the anxiety. But when I got the call to say come to the hospital, I was like, oh, mom is just tripping. She just needs to chill. But I didn't know how serious it was. She had already coded. So there's that. And then I got another text and another text. So I was like, okay, it's time for me to leave. So I did leave. Got to the hospital, you know, my siblings were there, other family members. And there's nothing like seeing somebody that you love, you know, laying there, hanging on to life, and you can do nothing about it. It's one of the most helpless feelings that you can ever feel in your life. It's like literally someone tearing your heart out and stomping on it, and you can do nothing about it. So I'm there. My other family members were in the ICU. And, you know, got the 2 paddles, jump in my mom's body. And all the tears are already going, because I already know what's happening, because I work in the medical field. I already know she's going. And I was like, I'm not ready for this. So I'm saying every single prayer that you can say. But it was time. It was time for her to go. And I knew at that moment, I promised my mom in that moment that I was going to do what I said I was going to do. I always had talked to my mom about being a motivational speaker. And I kept my word. It took me a while to get through, because I had to process, you know, my dad and my mom. So it took me a little while, but I asked her to forgive me. But I did. I got outside of myself. See, I say this to say this. Sometimes we're blocking our own blessings. We're blocking our own gifts. We're blocking ourselves from our potential, because we won't let ourselves get through it. We won't let ourselves believe that we can do better, or we feel like we need certain individuals in our life. And that's why I was like, I don't have my mom and my dad anymore. Like, I felt like I had no identity because they weren't in my life anymore. And sometimes when we have loss, or when you have a breakup, you know, losing somebody, breaking up of a romantic relationship, sometimes when we go through those things, we feel like we have no identity, like we're not valuable anymore because they're not in our life. So losing my mom and my dad caused me to really step into saying, who are you without them? And I had to redefine that. And I was proud of the woman that I saw in the mirror. I was proud that I'm an advocate. I was proud that I could speak up for myself. I was proud of the choices that I was making. I was proud that I didn't give up, you know, and I was proud that I went through what I went through when I went through it, because I was stronger then. Now I have a story. Now I can share my testimony of surviving not one parent, but 2 parents in 7 months. 2, not one. I lost both parents in 7 months. Then here comes another struggle. Here comes another struggle, and then my aunt passes away. at 102. And then another thing happened, which was a major loss that, you know, I'll talk about it at another time. And then through all of this, I really felt alone. Okay? I felt so alone. And I want to say to anybody who is ever going through something in their life, don't struggle on your own. Don't be like me, because that's what I did. I struggled on my own. I just wanted to be by myself, just crying, crying, crying. And then one day it was like, how long are you going to cry? How long are you going to be angry? Okay? It's time for you to take that energy, your story, and use it to change people's lives, to help other people. And that's when I went back to school, got my life coach, and here I am today. Okay? So that's the short story. There's a lot of things in between, but that's the short end of the story. So here I am today. I'm now a life coach, and I help people offline that have been through things like I have been through, you know, DV situation, abuse, loss, control issues, people who have struggled with procrastination like I did so many years of my life. So I'm grateful that I am in a space right now that I can help others, because I feel like my heart has been open. My heart has expanded because I've allowed it to expand. I don't hide it. I'm not ashamed. I'm like, this is me. I'm Marlene, and I've had some hills and valleys, as I'm sure you all have too. And these days, I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed to share my tears. I'm not ashamed to say I've been through some stuff. I'm not ashamed to say I was immature. I was controlling. I was so many things until I realized that it's okay. But get up, fight, make changes, and love on yourself. You know, I want to be an advocate for young girls, young boys, men, and women to be resilient, to be strong, fight. You know, the power starts in your mind. You have to say, I'm going to fight. You have to say, I deserve better. You have to say, I'm not going to settle. You have to say, I have talents. You have to say, this belongs to me, and take ownership, take accountability, be aware, and know the people that don't have your back. Don't let people run over you. Okay? I wanted to say that. Robert is clapping. Bryden says it takes a while, but you got to get up and move and keep going. Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. Good for you. You are a wonderful life coach, and content is excellent. Stay strong. Thank you so much. So now we're here at the point of, I'm going to open it. And if you guys want to ask me some questions, I am open for you guys to ask me some questions. I'm going to be on for about 5 more minutes, and then I'm going to get off. Let's see. I don't see any questions yet. So if you guys don't have any questions, then I'm going to get off of here. But if you guys have some questions, let me know. I may do a part 2 as a video. If you guys have some questions, maybe somebody in the replay is going to ask me some things. But yeah. So I did want to say this. I became a content creator, motivational speaker, life coach, catalyst for change, because I know what it feels like to be in a dark hole. I know what it feels like to feel abandoned. I know what it feels like to experience loss, and for you to not really have anybody around you that understands you or supports you or is compassionate to your level, because everybody's different. Every single person is different. Thank you, Eastat. I appreciate it. Yeah, I love you guys too. What makes me so strong? I think when you go through things, you have to make a choice. Do my situations define me, or do I define the situation? And I choose to do the latter. I choose to not let my situations define me. The times where I made mistakes, or the times where things happened to me that wasn't the nicest and the best, but it's allowing myself to just be human, and knowing that it's okay to take breaks. It's okay to move around, move away from people, not because they're bad people, but sometimes some people are just not good for us. They're not helping you to grow. And I love that for myself, and I love that for all of you who are learning by my example, that not everybody in our life are bad people, just some people are just not good for us. They don't help us. They they cause you to be stuck, or they make you feel bad because you want to do some great things. You want to be happy, and some people unfortunately are just not happy. They want to be miserable their whole life, and I know what that's like, because I was definitely a mad, angry, jealous person back in the day. But today, I'm healed, I'm vibrant, I'm worthy, I'm courageous, and I know my worth. And I want to say that to all of you. Be courageous, be strong, know your worth, and take things day by day, minute by minute, whatever it is that you need, because everybody's different. You know what you need. You know what you've been through. Don't let anybody tell you how to process your life, because nobody has that right, because they haven't lived in your shoes. Okay? I know 100%. I don't care who you are. The things that I've been through in my life, I'm just sharing there's just this much. There's a lot of things that if I shared, I know there's a lot of people who just say, no, I can never do her life. And I don't know how she continues on. But you know why I continue on? Because I love myself, because I love life, because I am a role model, and because I want to help people. Okay? And ultimately, for me, comes down to my faith. I continue on because God loves me. And when you don't have the strength to carry on, God does. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful. And I've asked for forgiveness for the times where I did wrong things, where I hurt people, because I'm human. I wasn't always mature and responsible. I was immature. I hurt people. I didn't always do the right things. But now I know how to take ownership for me. And I apologize. I always have said, I'm sorry to the people that I hurt. I'm sorry to the ones that I didn't support. But also, I'm sorry to me for masking my potential, for staying stagnant for a long time. But no more. I want not only for you, but I want for me as well to be our best, to be happy, to be at peace, to love ourselves, and to move forward in whatever it is that you're supposed to do, whatever I'm supposed to do. And that's all right. And whoever doesn't like it, that's their problem. Yes. Yes, Robert. Thank you so much, Bryden. Appreciate it. Yes. Thank you so much, everybody. And I wanted to say, over here on this channel, I do motivational content. Sometimes it's mainly, I'm trying to shift this channel from what I used to do and now doing something different. I want to talk about some some real issues in real time, like the things that are going on. Like I just did a live talking about sometimes you just feel discouraged on my other channel because that's a real thing. So I want this channel to shift more into real topics, real conversations, real motivation, things that really has truly helped me. And maybe if it doesn't help me, maybe it will help somebody you know. So maybe you could pass on the information, share, subscribe, okay? It may not be your story, but maybe it may help somebody you know that has been bullied, you know, that has eating disorder, that has experienced losing a loved one, you know, that has been in a very toxic relationship, you know, romantic and platonic, because sometimes your friends, your family, okay, and who you choose to be with in a romantic relationship, they're toxic, because if somebody is not helping you to elevate, they're bringing you down, okay? And I know I was drowning in a former, I was drowning, okay? I wasn't growing, but I had to make the choice that enough is enough. And so do you. You have to make a choice and say enough is enough. If I'm not improving, I'm declining. And you have to subtract those negative sources, and you have to tune out all of the people that are not here for your personal growth. Let me say this. And I want to get really clear and close to the camera so you guys can get this. Not everybody who smiles in your face wants you to win. There's a lot of people, they're watching you right now. I bet I have some people that are haters and they're looking at me in the background. Thank you so much, Miss Nexie, for your super sticker. I bet there are some people who are in the background and they're watching. My haters. Hi, haters. And they don't want me to win. They don't want me to share my story. They don't want me to talk about change. They don't want me to talk about healing. And some people may laugh at me because I shed my tears, but I'm not ashamed of my tears because that helps me to release it. And I'm strong enough to say, I hurt, but then I move on. You can be hurt, but you don't have to stay in the hurt. You don't have to stay in that pain. You can do something about it. You can improve. You can be a better woman, okay? And this channel, Marlene Motivates, is dedicated to just that. Being a better self, shifting your mindset, shifting your focus. Like I said, I came from dysfunction, okay? I came from that. But I didn't want to have that moving forward. See, one thing that I talked about on a video recently was first generational healing. And I don't know how many of you have either going through that but sometimes there has to be one person that has to say, I'm going to break through and say, this is not okay. Okay. So maybe if you're the parent, maybe if you're the child, but there has to be somebody to say, this is messed up. This is not how a family, a romantic relationship should be, whatever. But somebody has to be the one to say, we're going to have to change this. So I can say for me, I know I'm a first generational healer, that I talk about, you know, you didn't want to communicate, but you should communicate. You should respect boundaries. You should be kind. You should love yourself. You should advocate for others. You should do the right thing, okay? You should, okay? Thank you so much, Miss Nexie. I appreciate it. Thank you, Miss Carol. I appreciate you as well. Thank you, Miss Nexie, for your super sticker. Hi, Miss 702. How are you? Welcome. So, you know, I really wanted to talk about this. Oh, and I was really trying to get 30 likes. So if you guys have not hit the like, please hit the like. I share my story, not with shame. I share my story because I believe all my ancestors, they're so proud of me. Sometimes They cannot do it. They're not able. They're not capable of doing it because of their age, because of their circumstances. But there has to be somebody who's strong to say, we're going to communicate now. We're going to hug each other. We're going to set boundaries. We're going to respect one another. We're going to make changes. We're going to do all of those things. And we're going to go after our goals and our dreams, because we're never too old and you're never too young. The change has to start here in your mind. Shift your mindset and shift your life. If you want better, you'll do better. See, and that means accountability. That means to be persistent and consistent. Okay? Things aren't just going to fall into your lap. Not just because you make changes doesn't mean other people in your life will want the change, will embrace the change, will do right by you. Sometimes in that change, it can be lonely. Sometimes it can be dark. Okay? But it's okay, because in your darkness, you have peace. You know, I'm okay with the dark side of having peace, because when you have peace, you also have your money. You know, you're able to go for your goals. You don't have to hear all of this from the peanut gallery with all their negativity, their drama, their lies. They're spewing all of the, you know, their insecurities on you. Don't listen to the insecurities of others and take them in and make it be yours. Okay? Sometimes people are insecure in themselves, and they want to make you feel insecure because they don't have the courage to speak up about their pain, their hurt, their feelings of worthlessness, their drama, their depression, their story. Okay? They want to walk around and they want to push all those skeletons to the back. And I understand. I used to do it. I know what it's like. Okay? I wanted to hide my skeletons in the closet because that's easy. It's easier to live a lie than to live in your personal truth. It is easier. But one day I had to say that's not good enough, because I want better. I want people to look at me years later, even after I'm no longer here on this earth. I want for people to say, Marlene had the courage to go to therapy. Marlene had the courage to love herself. Marlene had the courage to share her story transparently and not care what anybody has to say. And I don't care what anybody thinks about me. What matters is I want somebody to see Marlene went through this, Marlene went through that, Marlene went through that, and she's still here. And she learned to love herself. And she learned to forgive herself and forgive others. And that's no easy feat. It's not easy. Okay? It's not easy to tell people I'm no longer going to let you use me. I'm going to block those who don't do right by me. Okay? I'm not waiting for you to catch up. I'm not waiting for you to mature. Either you're going to do the right thing or you're going to go. Period. And I mean it. And the same thing for you all. If people can't do right by you, they can go. There is the door. Goodbye. Okay? So this channel is dedicated to healing, to important discussions, to motivation, mindset shifting, and sharing real stories. I've done a few videos. I have a how-to playlist, how to get motivated, how to make changes. I'm going to keep doing a series on how-tos that has helped me, and hopefully it's going to help you. So if you have not seen those videos, check them out. I have many. I have over 1,000 live streams. I have a whole dose of positivity playlist. There's lots of motivation, inspiration, and positivity you can get from this channel, because as I grew, hopefully you can grow. Let's elevate together. Let's do better, be better. I'm Marlene of Marlene Motivates, your life coach. And be encouraged, be inspired, and be yourself, because you are enough. This was a get to know me. If you have some questions, make sure to leave this on this video if you want to know something. And maybe I'll do a follow-up, a part 2 of this get to know me. I hope this has helped you to get to know some more things about me, and why I chose to do content as a content creator. I hope more people will subscribe and be on the journey. And I appreciate every single one of you. I don't take not one of you for granted. Each one of you has value, meaning, power, and you are deserving. Know that, believe it, and walk like you know it. Okay? Know your worth. Yes, leave a comment. Thank you so much. Thank you, Shelly. Miss Nexie says, and we will say that by the grace of God, Miss Marlene changed many of us in the process of her truth. Love you, girlie. Thank you so much. Thank you, Shelly. Thank you, Robert. Hi, Bull City. How are you? Welcome. Yes, yes, you should do the right thing. You got to take care of yourself. Thank you, Nadia. Miss 702. Eastad. Bryden. Miss Tamika, and anybody who is here. If it's your first time here, welcome to Marlene Motivates. Welcome to the Motivators family. Okay, welcome to the Motivators family. Come here for encouragement. I try to do lives at least twice a week. Make sure you turn on your notification bell because I mainly do pop-ups, and I do have many videos. Check them out. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for allowing me to be transparent and vulnerable. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye, guys.